It's us.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It's currently 12:30 and I was fixing to go to bed, but then I saw this clip of Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia having a face off, and it made me think what would happen if they did have a rematch. So I wanted to talk about the first fight because the first fight was actually amazing. The whole build up was great too. Fight was amazing, and I wanted to talk about what would happen if a potential rematch is on the table, which I think that's what they're going to try to do next. I know that they were trying to set up the Rolly versus Ryan, and then the Devin and whoever he fought. I don't remember. Um, to build up for the rematch, and it didn't go as planned. But I think they're still just gonna do it anyways because fucking they do what they want. So let's get straight into it. So the first fight, it was crazy. Devin Haney was, he has the better resume, better boxing in general. He was one of the possible number one pound for pound for this division. People were saying, it's Tank Shakur, Devin, Lomachenko, one of them. And Ryan Garcia just lost his fight to Tank Davis, and he had another fight. I forgot who he fought. But that was his first fight back. And during the whole build up for this fight, Ryan Garcia was acting like a nut job, like, acting crazy, drinking on the scales and stuff. So no one thought he was taking this fight serious, and everyone thought Ryan Garcia was just gonna get fucked up in the fight, just completely washed. Um, I didn't think he would get knocked out, honestly, because he was heavier, and I know Devin Haney isn't known for his punching power. Maybe he'd get knocked down a couple times, but he's never known to knock people out. So I thought he'd just get outboxed for the whole 12 rounds. So the day of the fight, it was amazing. I remember watching this fight with a bunch of boys at some dude's house, and the first round, I'm talking first round. Also, I'm gonna put up a picture right here of Ryan when he fought Tank versus when he fought Devin Haney, and it's so crazy the difference, like in size, because he was drained as fuck in for his Tank fight. The fight was amazing. From my perspective, I mean, as soon as the first round started, Ryan was out there swinging and shit. I mean, he was already landing with that left hook. I mean, that shit was landing all night long, and I mean, yeah, it was a great first round. Just went out straight to it, and then I think it was a couple rounds. Darren Haney was handling it. David Haney's the better boxer all around, I would say. But Ryan kept being able to show the left hook. The left hook was landing all night. I don't remember. It's been a while since I last watched the fight, but Ryan Garcia ended up getting a knockdown, and he was knocking him down on the floor 2 3 times every couple rounds, and it was crazy. I mean, the room I was in, everyone was going crazy because we didn't think, we wanted Ryan to win. I've always been a fan of Ryan Garcia, but I did not think he was going to be Devin Haney, especially in the fashion that he did. Um, he was getting outboxed, and there was, watching the fight, you could see, and he tried doing the Philly shell, and it would look so ass. I hope he shouldn't do that, or if he's gonna do it, he needed to improve on it because that shit was so ass, and he left himself so open. But yeah, it was an amazing fight. Devin Haney was doing good boxing wise. He was handling the fight, keeping the distance, but sometimes he kept getting caught. He kept getting walked down, and eventually, if you keep walking, if you keep trying to back up, you're gonna get caught. You know what I mean? I've done that before, and you know, if like during the fight, Darren Haney's outboxing him, but when he gets caught, and it's hard to get Ryan Garcia off him because that he was swinging, he was going for that shit, and end of the fight, no one got knocked out, but it was crazy. I feel like Devin Haney won more of the rounds, but Ryan Garcia had more moments in the rounds, and that's why he won the fight. Because I haven't watched the fight in a while, but I remember it was I thought they were gonna give it to Devin Haney because um watching the fight, I feel like if you take the whole round, Devin Haney was boxing better in that aspect, but Ryan Garcia was having these moments, where he's like in the corner just throwing lefts and rights on him, and he got a bunch of knockdowns. So they gave it to him, and I was a little surprised, and I was so hyped because I love Ryan Garcia, and I'm so glad that he got that win. And then fucking, he was aura farming on his ass. I'm not gonna lie, like, see this picture? That shit is just fucking tough. But for a potential rematch, how would it go? If a rematch was to happen, this is what I would say is going to happen. Devin Haney either needs to he just needs to. He's already a better boxer. All he has to do is just figure out how to stop that left hook from hitting him all the time. I feel like if he could somehow stop his left hook, he should be good because that shit was landing all night. That was a trip, by the way. That was a trip. I swear, people always talking to me about that, how I got knocked down. I swear, I tripped. I fell over his leg. But anyways, back on topic. Yeah, as long as he could figure out how to deal with the pressure and the left hook, obviously, he should win the fight. Honestly, if we run it back, I feel like Devin Haney has the higher percentage chance of winning. I know it was 7-7 in the amateurs. If a rematch was to happen, this is what I would say is going to happen. Devin Haney either needs to He just needs to. He's already a better boxer. All he has to do is just figure out how to stop that left hook from hitting him all the time. I feel like if he could somehow stop his left hook, he should be good because that shit was landing all night. That was a trip, by the way. That was a trip. I swear, people always talking to me about that, how I got knocked down. I swear, I tripped. I fell over his leg. But anyways, back on topic. Yeah, as long as he could figure out how to deal with the pressure and the left hook, obviously, he should win the fight. Honestly, if we run it back, I feel like Devin Haney has the higher percentage chance of winning. I know it was 7-7 in the amateurs, but yeah, they were tied in the amateurs 7-7. Um, I think that's so cool. That's so crazy to be knowing someone that long, and you start in the amateurs and you end up fighting in the professionals against each other. That's so cool. But what I think, for Ryan Garcia to, in order to win, based on his last performance, he was hesitant. He was not as willing to throw, and I think that affected his chances of winning. And if I'm going to base um their last two performances, I have to give it to Haney because he showed a great boxing match. He showed perfection out there. He did everything right, and he won the fight. As and for Ryan Garcia, he didn't. He was hesitant. He didn't throw a lot. I think if he run it back with Rolly, he should have a better chance if he properly prepares. Because I don't know what was going on with him this time. I don't know why the last time where he seemed not locked in, he did amazing. But this time he didn't perform the best. So if we're going off last performances and what I've seen when they fought each other, you gotta give it to Haney. Because I wouldn't say a knockout either. It would be a decision for definitely. So when you do y'all's parlays, Devin Haney by decision. Um because we Devin Haney's always been the better boxer. He might be one of the best boxers in the division. He don't have power, but he has his skill. And if he has more training, learns how to get past that left hook, he should be fine, and that should be an easy fight. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, um, Ryan Garcia is like a B tier fighter. He's great, and I love him, and I love his personality. But he's like a B tier boxer. You know, he gets beat by Devin Haney. He gets beat by Shakur. He got beat by Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero is, not the best boxer. He got a lot of power, which is why he knocked his ass down. Um, yeah, I don't think he beats Ryan Garcia. Don't beat Lomachenko. Maybe now because he's older, but he don't beat Prime Lomachenko. Shakur. Apparently, he don't even beat Rolly. He don't beat Tank. And he did beat Devin Haney, so you gotta give him props for that. And but I think if they run, but yeah, he did beat Devin Haney, so you gotta give him props for that. Um, so I hope you guys enjoy. Had to film this for you guys. I didn't want to go to sleep without filming this. I also want to say sorry for just strictly boxing content. I know I promised vlogs, reactions, and other stuff like that, but at the moment, I don't have the funds for the equipment. I gotta buy a whole setup for the reactions. I want to get a camera for the vlogs, and I need money to go out and just do whatever for the vlogs. But it will be coming very soon. Maybe give me 2 months, maybe 3. And I'm gonna have either reaction or vlogs for you guys. So stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy these videos because I enjoy talking about it, and hopefully one day we can get the quality for these videos better as well. So y'all have a good night. Thank you for watching. What's going on, guys? It's the next day. I was getting ready to go out, waiting for my homeboy to arrive, and I was doing a bit of editing, and I realized I didn't talk about Ryan Garcia testing positive for drug enhancing Austrian, and the reason why I didn't mention it is because I honestly believe it wouldn't have made a difference. Him on it and him off it, it wouldn't have made a difference. I think it was also not on purpose. It was a super low amount that I don't see it affecting the fight. If it was a higher amount, then I would be able to say, yeah, he took the drugs. But it was such a low amount that I honestly feel like he probably wouldn't do that. Like that low amount of Oscarine in your system isn't going to do much for him. So I honestly believe he did it on accident because he's never been known for taking any sort of drugs. Yes, he did miss weight, and I think that was on purpose, but I don't think he willingly knew that he took off screen. Maybe he ate something with a little bit of it in it because that low amount isn't going to affect how you fight. So there would have been no point in taking it. But that's really why I didn't talk about it. It's just because I feel like one, it wouldn't affect the fight, and two, I don't think he did it on purpose. So yeah.